Starting with a march, the Invercargill March was written in 1901. Lithgow was actually born in Scotland but moved to New Zealand when he was 2 or 3. And he wrote this march and called it after his hometown, which was Invercargill in the South Island of New Zealand. He sent it off to a publisher and the publisher rejected it. But then New Zealand at that time, end of the 19th century, beginning of the 20th century, was very much like the English tradition of having brass bands in really every little village and every factory. And in 1909, Invercargill hosted the National Brass Band Contest. People might find it strange, but there's a huge audience that go to listen to the same piece of music being played by 8 different bands as they're adjudicated. Anyway, he then was living in Australia and was asked to write a piece as a test piece for the brass band contest in 1909. And this is the one that he wrote. And on the music that he submitted, he wrote these words: "To Invercargill, the southernmost city in New Zealand, brackets, end of the world, brackets, and its citizens, I dedicate this march as a memento of the many pleasant years spent there in my boyhood." Now, the march subsequently became popular around the world, and it's also claimed to be one of the favorite marches of the US Marine Band. So we're going to play Invercargill March, but while we do that, I want you also to think of how well New Zealand handled the tragedy that occurred there a few weeks ago. New Zealanders are really something resilient people, and I thought they handled the tragedy in New Zealand extremely well. So this is, I guess, in honor of New Zealand. Thank you. I think Charles is doing some technical things. In addition to arranging for this concert to be seen and heard live thousands of miles away by things that blow my mind. Charles Hsuen there also records our rehearsals. And he suggested yesterday that eavesdropping on our last rehearsal might give the audience some insight as to how we prepare for a concert like this. And I'll be interested to hear what examples he's chosen. So, Charles, over to you.
This evening's program is the result of 75 minutes of rehearsal once a week. Rehearsals are often usually quiet and relaxing, but when we get closer to a performance, the tempo may rise a little. So we thought we might like a little insight into what goes behind the scenes and behind the music. We record our rehearsals for later review. These are clips from a recording I made at last Wednesday's rehearsal. I will introduce them to place them in context. We listen to how the conductor wants things to be played, like
1, 5, 5. Full note. Dum, dum, dee, 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 da, sharp. 1, 4.
and like this.
Please. I can't hear the melody because you played so bloody loud. That's a piano, no more than less.
And we receive suggestions for specific instruments.
Start sliding.
Right from the start.
On other occasions, we are given helpful hints on how to breathe. Rarely, if ever, does an accusatory tone creep in.
Who played that second note and felt louder? That last part, there it is. 4, 5, 6, 5.
Then we may be asked about our practicing habits over the preceding week.
The flutes you've all been practicing all week with that run, have you?
Same as every week.
The same as every week.
But this rehearsal was unique because one section was actually commended.
I'm listening to the trumpets at 12:69. It's not nearly legato enough. The clarinet's actually got it right this week. Is that the first time I've ever said it? Almost.
I'm in shock.
Almost right.
Oh, no. You can't take it back, Bernie.
153. So listen to them. I've never said that before, Lance. 153. 3, 4.
Finally, however, we are never left in doubt as to how well we are progressing.
Don't swallow them with your tongue. At 45.
So that's how we prepared for this concert. We hope it was well worth it, and we hope you enjoyed the Tupper Band behind the scenes.